I'm not a dummy. Like I'm not gonna carry on in a fight that I'm definitely not gonna win because somebody else is cheating, and I can't see.
I'm not going to continue in a fight that I'm definitely not going to win. Ultimate farting champion Tom Aspinall admitted that he quit against Ciryl Gane at UFC 321 in a disastrous interview with Ariel Helwani. And let's take a step back for a second. Regardless of what you think of what happened at UFC 321, you have to be objective and you have to look at this situation and realize that Tom Aspinall, from a PR standpoint of view, is completely and utterly humiliating himself. And this Ariel Helwani interview was a complete disaster from so many different angles. We're going to break it all down in this video because Tom Aspinall speaks on Dana White. He speaks on the eye injury. He talks about potential surgery. He talks about potentially returning. He talks about Jon Jones. I actually agree with him, what he said about Jon Jones, and I thought he handled it perfectly. But man, this interview was a complete disaster. It was hard to get through. I kept saying, oh no, why would he say this? It was really, really bad. We're going to break it all down in this video. Do me a favor, guys. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to turn on notifications. I don't want to start with the Ariel Helwani interview. We have a bunch of different clips to check out from this that are very, very intriguing. But I want to start off with this because Tom Aspinall released vlog footage of him in a doctor's office that Ariel Helwani released. And when I watched this, I'm like, can it get any more pathetic? Can it really get any more pathetic than this? And this is regardless of your opinion on what transpired. He is desperately trying to snuff out any criticism of him quitting at UFC 321, even though him himself in the Ariel Helwani interview admits that he could have continued but didn't because he did not want to lose, which was my take from the beginning. But listen to this clip that Ariel Helwani released on the behalf of Tom Aspinall, because Ariel Helwani is the biggest Tom Aspinall dick rider I have ever seen. We'll get to that in a second. And it's just clear that Ariel Helwani's running cover for him. But this, I really think you're mentally challenged if you don't realize what's going on here. Listen to this. I'm going to play the whole clip. It's a minute and 30 seconds.
Previous injury or a trauma to the eye, it's almost impossible to ascertain exactly what has happened. So it's a very crude way to very quickly assess for any major issue with the eye. But it does not replace a thorough eye examination, which I understand might not be possible always in the heat of the moment. But to say that the globe is fine and there is no eye problem, you should carry on, I think is a stretch.
A doctor would never do this. They literally gave this motherfucker a script before they hit record on the camera. He's criticizing the doctor who was in the cage at UFC 321, who is only supposed to assess, is there a catastrophic injury or not? Do I deem him readily available to continue? And the doctor said that he could. The doctor said, look, I don't see anything traumatic. And still, we're 2 months later, we're multiple hospital visits later, and we still haven't found anything. It's crazy to me, and it gets even worse. He's like, I am so sorry that this happened to you. You made the right decision quitting at UFC 3. I mean, this is laughable. I really can't get over this, to the point that I thought maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I am biased. Maybe do I not know what's going on here? This is laughable. This is beyond parody. Listen to this.
There is certainly things that happened as a result of that injury that has meant that you would have seen double during that fight had you continued.
So how long till I can train properly, spar?
It's a long road ahead, but the prognosis is guarded at the moment.
The prognosis is guarded at the moment. AK, we can't find any damage. There's no damage that we can find. You're just claiming symptoms, which, by the way, I don't even doubt that Tom Aspinall had symptoms. People are misconstruing my actual take on this. We'll get to it before the Ariel Helwani interview, and acting like I'm saying nothing ever happened to Tom. That's just simply not, it's a misrepresentation of what I've been saying. But, oh, the prognosis is guarded at the moment. What?
I would recommend that you wouldn't fight until your double vision is resolved for two reasons. One, it could potentially make things worse and set you back even further, or that you're training because you're still having double vision looking into the periphery, you wouldn't be at your peak. So that's the main reason.
We didn't ask for your 2 cents, buddy. You're a doctor. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just give you my 2 cents. You shouldn't be training because you won't be at your peak. Like, who even says that? A doctor does not talk like that. An ophthalmologist does not talk like that. This man was handed a script in an attempt to divert criticism of Tom Aspinall. And it's embarrassing that they're trying so hard instead of shutting the fuck up and moving the fuck on. That's all they needed to do. Ciryl Gane's a cheater. I'm going to whoop his ass in 6 months. Or a year now at this point. Because that's what it seems like. Let's continue a little bit more.
Sorry that this has happened. And it's not nice.
I'm sorry this has happened and it's not nice. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I can smell it on these guys. I told you guys this about Tom Aspinall a long time ago. He's a daddy's boy. He grew up sheltered. He's got a doctor or a cosplaying doctor saying, I don't know if this guy, it says consultant. If you zoom in on his shirt, it says consultant. Saying, I'm sorry that this happened to you, Tommy. It's not nice. That's a grown man you're talking to. A grown fucking man.
It's not nice to be in this position with lots of probably pressure coming from inside you because I know you want to fight. And
I know you want to fight, Tommy boy. I know you want to fight. I tweeted out this video and I said, he also has this guy criticizing the in-cage doctor. Notice there's never any treatment options. The synopsis is, quote, just rest until you don't have double vision anymore. At this point, it wouldn't shock me if Tom has full-blown surgery to justify his decision not to continue fighting. Okay, this is a bit of a laugh here. Let me get my actual take out of the way. Let me not bury the lead because people have misunderstood my take on Tom Aspinall this entire time. I believe, obviously, we saw that Tom Aspinall was eye-poked in the fight against Ciryl Gane. I believe he was having symptoms, but he could continue. He decided, rightfully so, most would say, that he was going to lose the fight if he continued. He was already losing the fight. Now he gets eye-poked. He's partially diminished to what percentage we don't really know. And so he did not want to continue. He chose not to continue because he wanted to hold on to the UFC heavyweight title. That is a fact. That is an undeniable fact. And he got so much criticism from it that he's now trying to cover his trail. Now he's trying to cover his tracks. Now he's trying to point at all the fans saying, look, Tom, you got a bitched out there. And he's trying to say, look how bad this is. He's embellishing it. He's milking it because of the criticism that he got for quitting against Ciryl Gane, even though he could easily just say, look, it is what it is. He poked me in the eye. I wasn't going to continue. That's it. That's all he had to say. I'm going to whoop Ciryl Gane in the rematch. But instead, now he has to cosplay as Stevie fucking Wonder so he can say, look, fans, I told you so. We're 3.5 months later. We're 6 months later. I'm exaggerating, but you get my point. We're like a month and a half, 2 months later. And look, I can't even see. I walk through parks and I can't see. I'm posting YouTube videos looking at my phone. I'm pointing up to the fucking Jumbotron and saying, look at the eye pokes on the Jumbotron. He's embellishing it because he's trying to get the heat off of him instead of just moving on. That's all he had to do. So he has stuff like this. He has the embellished doctor's report that has multiple conflicting statements in that report. And then he has the interview with Ariel Helwani, which I really think is particularly pathetic. Let's actually rewind to the very first second of this interview. This Ariel Helwani, I truly believe, would get down on his hands and knees and unbuckle Tom Aspinall's trousers if he was asked. He'd be like, coming right up, one Tom Aspinall. Listen to this. This is the very beginning. I'm at 0 seconds right now. This is the very beginning of the Tom Aspinall interview. Listen to this.
We say hello to our first guest of the day, a man that I've wanted to speak to for quite some time. He is the reigning, the defending UFC heavyweight champion, and don't you dare forget it. He is the pride of Wigan.
This dude would eat Tom Aspinall's ass if he was requested. Look at the way he's talking, man. I mean, the level of dick riding is crazy.
He is the pride of Manchester. He is the pride of the UK. He is the pride of Great Britain. Dare I say
They're not proud of a quitter, Ariel. They're not proud of him quitting and then milking it for months on end.
He's the pride of Poland as well. He's the man who fought Ciryl Gane in Abu Dhabi in late October. Of course, the fight ended inconclusively. We suspect and hope that they will run it back at some point in 2026. And now for his first interview, live interview, I should add, since that fight, he is here to answer every and all questions. He's the one and only Tommy Aspinall.
The one and only. I mean, I think that clip speaks for itself. Let's just jump ahead because Ariel's a clown. Let's just jump right ahead. How are you doing, Tommy boy? How are you doing?
Major health scare, the eye pokes. Everyone knows the story by now. How are you doing? How are you feeling a little over a month later?
I'm generally doing pretty good. Thanks, mate. Yeah, everything in my life is pretty amazing. Can't complain.
So then he's pretty good generally, but he goes on to cry for damn near an hour about how Ciryl Gane eye poked him and he's a cheater. And he's like, I fought through an eye issue before against Andrei Arlovsky, man. All the haters out there, man. No more Mr. Nice Guy, man. I'm tired of being fingered by other men. I mean, this is just craziness. And then what's even worse is Ariel immediately brings up the eyes. And I want you guys to give it to me straight, okay? I want you guys to give it to me straight here because the way he was trying to like divert and dodge questions here and in another clip, I think it's 2 clips from now, was insane to me because he feels uncomfortable because he's embellishing the injury because of the backlash that he's received. Watch this.
How are the eyes?
The eyes are unfortunately not back to full health yet. So
yeah, that's really funny. Okay, but that's not what I'm getting at.
we're still waiting. We put the doctor's reports out recently.
Yes.
Which has been a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest with you, because I know there's a lot of haters out there. Of course, this is professional sport at the highest level. We have haters. But when the eye poke happened,
look, how are the eyes? He's not saying, oh, I got crazy double vision in my right eye. When I look up to the right, I see nothing but gray. I only got 21% and 8% field of vision. No, he kind of just like, the haters, and when I got eye poked, and there's a doctor's report. It gets even worse later in the interview. But you guys, I want you guys to tell me honestly, am I crazy? Or does it remind you of like when a politician's asked a question that if he answers honestly, he's going to look bad. So he just tries to divert and dodge the question. That's what it seems like from Tom Aspinall. But Ariel keeps actually pushing him. Even though Ariel's working with Tom Aspinall, there's no doubt in my mind Tom Aspinall and Ariel have worked together in part with Tom Aspinall's team to try to help clean this up and make him a fan favorite again. And it's simply not working. So Ariel's kind of coaching him through the interview. But even with this softball interview where Ariel tries to make him look good, Tom makes himself look bad over and over and over again by not answering direct questions. Watch this.
Obviously, eye pokes happen all the time in MMA, unfortunately. And got the eye poke. Obviously, everything went on from there. Went to the hospital, returned home.
The question was, how are the eyes? Are they 50%? Is it blurry? Is it double vision? Are you not seeing at all? Are you blind? What's going on? Do they hurt? Instead, he goes on this he's like telling a story here. It's crazy to me. And it's nervous energy too.
Didn't even check my phone or nothing for a while.
I wish I had it pulled up. Dude was looking at his phone in the hospital. He didn't check his phone at all.
And then I realized oh shit, people genuinely think that I faked this. People actually think that I was faking it. And then I was like, did people actually see the replay of what happened? Because that was a full on eye poke. So then I was like, what is going on? Why are people thinking I'm faking this? After everything that I've been through to get there.
Look, he tells on himself right there. That's what everything that's happened after this, that's what it all came from. He couldn't believe he was getting criticism. So now he has to prove the haters wrong by milking it worse than it actually was. That's the reality of the situation. I called it live. I called it in the days afterwards, and I 100% believe this is accurate.
So then I left it quite a while. I thought, right, I'm going to get all the doctor's notes included. I've been through it for like loads and loads of tests for weeks. I've literally...
Listen to the way he says this, by the way. He says this in a very suspicious way. Very suspicious. But listen carefully.
Been in the hospital 2 or 3 times a week getting different tests. Then I come up with a doctor's report, and then people are like, oh, he's fucking crying about it.
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear the way he worded that? Let me rewind it back. Listen to what he says about the doctor's report. Listen to it.
Weeks, I've literally been in the hospital 2 or 3 times a week getting different tests. Then I come up with a doctor's report, and then people are like,
I come up with a doctor's report. That's an interesting way of phrasing that. That's a very interesting way of framing that. Instead of saying, yeah, so then I showed the doctor's, you came up with a doctor's report? Because that shit looked fraudulent as hell to me. And I'm telling you, that shit was not real. I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't believe it for 1 second. They had someone put that together as if they were telling a fucking dramatic story. That's what they did. So come up with a doctor's report. Already suspicious right there.
oh, he's fucking crying about it. He's doing a media tour on it. He's milking it. And I'm like, bro, if you don't believe the eye poke and you don't believe the doctor's reports, like, what are we doing? Like, what's going on here? Like, I didn't make this shit up. Go watch the replay. Check out the doctor's reports. Look, man.
Look at Ariel just carrying water. He flashed these images up like hundreds of times during this interview to really prove. We know that he got poked in the eye. You are milking it and making it sound worse because you got backlash, because you did not continue, because you would lose your belt, which you admitted later in this interview, which I'm going to get to.
And the point where, like, you just cannot please these guys. These guys are fucking losers, man. These guys are just crazy haters who have got nothing good going on in their life, obviously. I have still got a lot of fans. I wanted to keep my fans updated with what's going on.
So basically, everybody who does not believe that Tom Aspinall got multiple clean bills of health. By the way, he complains about the doctors in Abu Dhabi. He must have told Ariel that before, and that's why Ariel was criticizing them in tandem as well, acting as if the doctors in Abu Dhabi didn't know anything about eyes, because Tom is pissed, just like I told you Ariel was pissed, that they said, look, we don't see anything serious. Just follow up. There's no medical emergency here. You need to follow up with an ophthalmologist. And anybody that's ever, I know this was in Abu Dhabi, I know this was in the Middle East. Anybody that's ever been to an emergency room would know they check you for medical emergencies and then they tell you go follow up with a primary care physician. Go follow up with a specialist. That's what they tell you. But Tom is pissed because the people on camera, the doctors on camera from his little vlogs that he fucking released said, oh, clean bill of health. All good. Don't see anything particularly serious here. Which, by the way, we can have a conversation about the way the UFC treats their fighters. Should they have somebody on standby, an emergency physician, an emergency specialist, to look at these guys so they don't have to go wait in the emergency room? We can have that conversation. But he's mad because they didn't give him anything other than a clean bill of health. It's just absolutely insane. Let's jump ahead. And also, he's like, people are saying I'm milking it. People are saying I'm crying about it. That was at like around the 3-minute mark, a little after the 3-minute mark. He then proceeds to cry about it for another 45 minutes. It's insane. Listen to this.
And they want to bring you down. And unfortunately, I have experienced my fair share of that, which is crazy. Like you say, I think this might be the only sport that, like, you can be not the fouler, but the foulee. Is that a term? A foulee?
Yeah, I get
who
it.
got fouled. And it's your fault when you get fouled. Like, it's fucking crazy, man. I did not know that.
This sounds like a woman. This literally sounds like a woman. People always talking about, Joe, you're so soft. This and that. Oh my God, you can't believe you said this. This dude sounds like a woman. He's like, man, I'm getting criticism from the fans that I was fouled. Imagine if Gary did this, man. Imagine if Gary did this. The criticism that he would get, the heat that he would get would be fucking insane. And he's just crying about it nonstop.
I would be getting so much hate for a guy that I did everything right. Went out there, played fair, tried to knock my guy out, and I got fouled. Absolutely no fault of my own, and I'm getting loads of hate. But you know what? There is some sour people out there who don't like people seeing other people do good.
It's crazy. Any criticism is somebody out there, man. They don't like seeing other people do good. What did you do good at UFC 321 other than shit the bed? By the way, he was confronted about the Daniel Cormier issue, and he embarrassed himself there as well. It's insane. We're going to get to that. There's so much to get to. I have a bunch of other clips. The next clip I'm going to show you is where it really starts to get bad, because Ariel starts to ask him about specific symptoms with his eyes and the damage that occurred to his eyes. And the way he tries to duck, dodge, and divert is insane to me. Dead giveaway. You guys tell me. Again, I want you to watch this, even if you're the biggest Tom Aspinall fan. Like, let's say you have the opinion. I think this is a totally reasonable opinion to have. You ready? Tom Aspinall got eye poked. He was compromised. He wanted to live to fight another day. So he did not continue. He had some trauma to his eyes. He's recovering, and he's going to come back and rematch Gane. End of story. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Even if that's your opinion on this entire situation, there's no way you can look at this and think that Tom Aspinall is coming off looking good in this interview. Absolutely not. And this is where it really starts to get bad. Look at this.
Is bothering you more?
So I got the double eye gouge.
So which eye is bothering you more? Let's see if we get an actual answer, or we get like a political answer where they just kind of give a word salad. Gish gallop.
Actually, I'm going to stop calling it an eye poke. In fact, to be honest, I want to get these interviews done and just move on with it, because I've been quiet for a long time. I'm aware that
You should have done that. And dude, you've been quiet for a long time. You were posting vlogs for like 3 vlogs in the week afterwards. And then you were quiet. Now you're not going to talk about it anymore. Don't talk about it anymore. You should just shut up and just recover. That's it. That's it. Somebody should have told him a long time ago. He's embarrassed himself. Everyone knows it. But again, what was the question? Which one of your eyes is bothering you more? Well, it was an eye poke. No, it was a gouge. It was this. It was, again, where's the answer at?
I need to update people, and then we can talk about it and
Sure.
move on. Because after this week, I'm not even going to bother with it. But
He's talking about vlogs. He was asked which eye is worse. Here he is talking about vlogs. A grown man talking about vlogs. Might as well be talking about fucking rumors.
I got a double eye gouge, so it wasn't even like an eye poke. It was like an eye gouge. So both eyes, the left eye, my left eye, the left eye looked worse, but the right eye is the one that had the most damage. So I'm still, there we go. Look at that. I'm like a friggin'
Look at that. Look at the image. Again, what's the answer? Which one's still bothering you? Which one is bothering you most now? Well, the left got poked bad, but the right was worse. But you're not saying which is worse now. And Ariel continues to press the issue.
human bowling ball there. Big shout out to MMA Guru, who said that I'm like a human bowling ball.
The MMA Guru said he's a bowling ball. Dude, these UK beta boys have a lot in common. They like to quit when the going gets tough. They like to act hard. They like to act like they're a badass. And deep down, they're just a little bitch who's ready to fold up and quit at a moment's notice, essentially. Let's continue.
It's like, the one that looked deeper actually did the least damage.
Okay. And so as of right now, it's the eye on the screen left, your right. Yes.
This one's the bad one. My right eye is the.
What are you feeling? What are the symptoms right now?
I'm just struggling with like a lot of double vision and stuff still. So I'm just trying to navigate the next moves on that. I've had a lot of time in the hospital over the last
I'm just struggling with I'm struggling with some double vision and stuff. He's got some double vision, guys. He's got some. I don't even know if this is true. And I want to say this. I don't know if I've said this in a video. I've said it in live streams. If Tom is having eye issues, I wish him nothing but the best. I wish him nothing but healthy eyes and healthy vision. And I hope that he gets better. But he is handling this horribly and really embarrassing himself. And look, he's like, oh, some stuff. He doesn't. It's because he's just trying to take the heat off himself, and he's making it worse, man. He should have hired me for his PR guy. I would have handled it easily.
4, 5, 6 weeks, however long it's been. I did it, seeing multiple specialists. Everything has been reported back to the UFC since the first appointment, and yeah, we're just waiting and moving forward. That
Again, no real answer. I'm just seeing some double. So is it double vision in both eyes? Are you able to see 100% in both eyes? Because your medical report said you had like a 8% field of view and a 28% field of view. So are you either totally blind like Stevie Wonder, or like what? There's really no real answer. I know people think I'm crazy and I'm just a Tom Aspinall hater. This is the reality of the situation. It really is. And it gets worse. He starts going on to bitch about the doctors in Abu Dhabi because they gave him a clean bill of health. Listen to this.
2 a.m. by the time we got there in Abu Dhabi, and they dropped us off. I don't know what you guys would call it, but in England we'd call it like an A&E, accident and emergency room, which is like where the drunk people are.
By the way, we can have a conversation. I think it's ridiculous that the UFC is dropping off their UFC heavyweight champion at a public emergency room rather than actually having physicians on standby to address issues like this. We can have that conversation. But here he is, bitching and moaning like, oh, it was a waste of time because they didn't find anything. Well, nobody's really found anything since then. All they have to go off is your symptoms. Essentially, Tom is reporting symptoms, whether they be true or embellished, and doctors are like, oh, well, let's just wait and see if they get better, because we can't really find much of anything when we look at your eye and do every test known to man on your eye.
The I just literally had to wait in a line, like in a queue, for like 3-4 hours just to get seen off a guy who seemed to know absolutely nothing about eyes. So there was basically the hospital in Abu Dhabi was a big waste of time. We started getting treated properly when we got back to the UK.
Told you guys, I called this. I literally called this the day after. I said, he's going to get a clean bill of health in Abu Dhabi. He's going to go back to the UK. All of a sudden, it's going to be some crazy emergency. And it's just really not the case, man. It's really, he did not like the criticism that he got because he grew up like Bo Nickel, probably had a King Ranch. Well, I don't think they probably have King Ranches in the UK, but grew up spoiled like a little brat, daddy's boy. And now he's getting, they're criticizing me. But they loved me before because of John Jones, and they don't like John. Now they're criticizing me. What are they doing? And now he wants to blame the doctor because the doctor said there was nothing. What's the treatment? So the people in Abu Dhabi, what did they do wrong? Is there something they should have treated? Is there something they should have done that they didn't do? You'll never get answers to those questions because the reality is they checked it out. They didn't see anything serious. They said follow up with somebody else. Follow up with an ophthalmologist. Follow up with your primary care physician or whatever it's called in the UK. That's what they do. That's how these things work. And then even after all these tests and all these visits, they still don't find much of anything other than what Tom's complaining about. That's it. They're like, oh, well, everything looks fine. Retina looks fine. This looks fine. Nothing wrong with the optic nerve. This looks fine. That's what it is. Clean bill of health after clean bill of health. I hate to say it. I know people don't like it. Let's jump ahead. Let's jump ahead a little bit more.
So obviously I want to get back as soon as possible. That's the plan. But I'm also aware that with eyes, you got to be careful. So they don't really know when I'm going to be back at the moment. I'm still like not even clear to train or do anything. They're talking about doing surgery on both eyes. They're talking about injection. I have to get an injection in the eyeball soon.
Jeez.
So I'm not looking forward to that. So yeah, I don't really know at this point. I don't know.
They're talking about surgery in both eyes. You know what, Ariel? Name this video. Exclusive. Tom Aspinall reveals he may need surgery on both eyes. Disappointed in Dana White, which we're going to get to Dana White here in a minute. Does anyone honestly believe that? I would be absolutely shocked if Tom Aspinall had to get surgery on both of his eyes. I think this is going to be one of those things. Let's just wait and see. Let's give it a couple weeks and everything's going to be miraculously better. That's what I think the reality of the situation is going to be. But instead, he'd rather cry about the haters. That's what he'd rather do. Listen to this.
The other stuff, the people online and shit like that, I'm just starting to realize that they're just a bunch of low-life haters, man. A lot of them. There's a lot of amazing MMA fans out there as well who really support the sport.
Basically, if you don't believe Tom Aspinall because he seems very sketchy in what he's saying and what he's peddling, because there's a lot of things that conflict with each other. I can't see. Look at the replay, clear as day. Watching on his phone, checking. You know, he's in the hospital going. looking off and, oh, the camera's there. Oh, let me look back like I'm pouting. If you don't believe that, you're a low-life hater.
Really know what the sport is, but there's also a lot of just like weird kids online who are just sat behind a fake profile commenting and stuff like that. So how am I dealing with it? At first, not very well, but I guess my skin's getting a little bit thicker now, and I'm starting to see what the world is really like.
He's starting to see, I told you. He lived a sheltered life. He can't handle the criticism. It's getting in his crawl. By the way, there are weirdos online that harass fighters in their comment sections and messages. I do think those people are weird, and I do think he's right about that. Should not be harassing Tom Aspinall about this. But commenting on the UFC's official Instagram page or responding to Ariel Helwani tweets or commenting on Ariel Helwani interviews is not the same as like brutally harassing him on Instagram. It's just simply not. Anyway, let's jump ahead because this next clip, at first I was like, okay, I'm definitely not taking a timestamp for this because I don't have time to talk about this. He's embarrassing. I mean, I've already taken down so many timestamps. He's so embarrassing. There's no way I want to cover the DC thing. He really looks dumb here. Really looks incredibly stupid. So if you don't know, DC essentially whispered something to Tom Aspinall saying how Jalton Almeida can't fight. It was clearly a private conversation because DC was whispering it to him. And Tom Aspinall, because he's a wannabe influencer, uploaded that to his YouTube channel. And DC was not happy about that. Let's see what he has to say in the Ariel Helwani interview. I don't think he could have came off worse with this answer.
One was a conversation between you and Daniel Cormier that ended up on your YouTube channel, which he said afterwards he was a little bit disappointed that it was posted, that he thought it was a private conversation. Are you familiar with what he said about it? And do you have any reaction to his response to it being a part of your Fight Week video blog?
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, I apologize to him about that.
Okay. You spoke to him privately?
Yeah, I spoke to him privately about that, yeah.
Okay. Do you think that was a mistake? Do you wish that you could take that one back?
Well, the guy who does my videos and stuff, he actually messaged him and asked if it's all right to put it on.
Oh.
Well, you should have led with that. Well, the guy that put it on messaged him and asked if it was okay. Well, that sounds like that's DC's fucking problem then, right? But then listen to the follow-up question from Ariel. Well, I'm surprised he even asked this.
Well, that's important. And did he say yes?
I'm not sure. I don't know. But
okay.
You can't make this shit up. Well, my guy messaged him and asked him if it was okay. Well, did he respond? Well, I don't fucking know. Well, then why'd you put out a private conversation? At the end of the day, he does kind of own up. But that was like, I was like, what the hell? Like, why would you even say that if you didn't know the answer to it? Because if the answer was DC said yes, then why would you owe him an apology? Why would you owe him an apology? You should have said, well, I think the guy, if you didn't know, you weren't clear on the facts, you should have said, I thought the guy that did my videos messaged him to get the okay, but there must have been some type of miscommunication, and I'm sorry about it. At the end of the day, it's my YouTube channel. It's my fault. That's what he should have said. But instead, he's like, well, my guy messaged him. Well, did he answer? Well, no. I don't know.
Anyway, if DC was uncomfortable with it, then like I'm not in control of doing that stuff, but it's come from my team, so I'll take, of course, responsibility for it, and I apologize to him for it.
That should have been the only answer. It came from my team. I apologize for it. It's my responsibility to make sure stuff like that doesn't happen. The buck stops with me. Okay? Let's jump ahead because we have a lot more to check out. The next clip, and this, I honestly think Tom's career at the UFC is going to be over soon enough. He doesn't really shut down the boxing discussions. And I really do believe Dana White already isn't happy with him, which you'll see here in another clip that we're going to check out, a longer clip where Tom Aspinall is asked repeatedly about Dana White, and Tom's like trying to not answer, but Ariel keeps kind of asking him. But these boxing aspirations are not going to go over well with Daddy Dana White.
Well, my dad said that he wanted me to box from the beginning, and also those remarks were coming from my dad and not me. But also, like, what did we get into this combat sports thing to do? Like, I'm a prize fighter. Like, before I had UFC champion and all that stuff on my Instagram bio, I had the word prize fighter there because we want to fight for the most money possible. Like, we're putting our health and safety on the line. Do
you think this is something Dana White wants to hear? Who remembers? I want you to comment down below. Who remembers early 2025, late 2024, when I was saying a heated. A falling out between Dana White, the UFC, and Tom Aspinall would happen soon enough. Who remembers when I was saying that? I said it multiple times on multiple videos, on multiple streams. I said, look, Tom's pretty smart. I know he hasn't handled this very smartly. He's pretty smart, and he's the heavyweight champ, and he's somewhat promotable. Guess what? There's going to be a falling out between him and the UFC and Dana White, and it's going to be rather heated, and I think the breadcrumbs are already there. He may get stripped. He may get stripped soon enough, and we're going to see that. We're going to break that down a little bit. Let's continue.
For other people's entertainment. So we want to do it for the most money possible. And my dad, being a dad for me, if he sees me going out there and risking my life, then he wants me to do it for the most money possible. So I think that's what he was getting at with that. He wasn't like in public negotiation with the UFC or anything like that. He was just speaking honestly.
It's not a good look for the heavyweight champion. Dana White's not going to like it. Now, I think the UFC treats these fighters poorly, and I think they should be able to say these types of things without fear of retribution. But you know what's funny? And I do find it quite ironic, is the same fan base that was shitting on Francis Ngannou and co-signing everything Dana White said about Ngannou. Soon enough, Dana White's going to be doing that about Tom Aspinall. And I don't know if those same fans are going to co-sign the message as much. I think some fans have turned on him, but I wonder why that is, man. I wonder why that is, and they deserve it. Not Tom Aspinall himself. Those fans who co-signed what happened to Francis Ngannou. I'm talking about this specific group. The fans that co-signed what happened to Francis Ngannou and the way Dana White and the UFC and Hunter Campbell treated him like shit. They better like when the UFC and Dana White does the same thing to Tom Aspinall. They better co-sign it then, because you endorsed it back then. You better endorse it now as well, because it's going to happen. I'm calling it right now. It's going to happen. And it may be sooner than I even realize. It may happen tomorrow. It may happen next week. We're going to see rather soon. Okay, let's jump ahead. We got more to check out. Let's jump ahead. More boxing discussion, which Dana White is not going to like, and we haven't even got to the portion about Dana White himself.
I didn't hear about it until after the fight.
Can I ask, do you share his sentiment? Would you like to fight out your contract and go on to boxing?
Never say never, but I think that I've got more. I always said it from the beginning, like I got work to do in the UFC, so right now and before the fight, that wasn't really something that I was thinking about.
Okay.
But I do understand. Like, we fight for the most money possible.
Remember when Ngannou said, look, it's been a dream of mine to box and I would like to have the option, and fans were just shitting down his throat left and right. Fumble the bag. You're never going to get a boxing match. It's never going to happen. Then he went and made more money in 2 boxing matches than he did in his entire UFC career, like 20 times over. Remember that? Remember that fallout? Remember the fans all siding with Dana White and the Dana White sycophants all just regurgitating the same propaganda? I told you guys, it's all fun and games when it happens to a fighter you don't necessarily like. Now, if it may eventually happen to a fighter you like, and then you're like, why is this happening? This is terrible. I can't wait to break that down. It's coming soon, boys. It's coming soon. And just remember that I called it. Let's continue.
We fight for we want to make as much money out of this stuff as possible. So I understand completely about where my dad or anybody else would be coming from with stuff like that.
Do you think?
So there you go. He wants to go box. Let's jump ahead. We have more. We have some glaze from Ariel here. Oh my, I have so much to check out. We have a couple more clips. Let's jump ahead. There's multiple things about this clip I want to check out. Ariel's like, you defended the takedown. Or Gane defended the takedown with the eye pokes. And then the picture that he shows is acting like Aspinall was deep in on a takedown, which is hilarious. Look at him. He's impersonating Ciryl Gane here. Ariel Helwani is. But also, I think Tom Aspinall might have been ripping ass here. He's farting out of the red corner here, okay?
That position too, and I've seen a video of your dad look at a bunch of highlights from the fight, and he counts like 4 or 5 instances where it seems like the fingers are in your eye. Did any of those moments, here it is, 3:11, you quick...
Ariel's acting like he shot, like he was in deep on a shot, and Gane eye poked him. There is no definitive evidence, and Tom Aspinall hasn't even made this claim, that these fingers went in his eye at all. Nothing. There's no definitive evidence, and Tom hasn't even made that claim. And Ariel's acting like Tom's in on a good takedown here. This was clearly like a fake takedown. He didn't even put any real effort into this takedown. Okay? And he got, it wasn't ever even close. So it's not like he said, oh, let me ramp it up and really actually try. Let's continue.
quickly level change, and then that happens, and then you stand back upright. Any of those moments affect you as well, to the point where you thought, like, shit, what is going on here? Why are there so many fingers coming towards my eye?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the first part was pretty hard as well. But I mean, I wasn't really shooting for it.
Is he I don't know what's going on there. Is this dude ripping ass? There's like multiple sounds, and there was more throughout this interview. I'm only showing you one or maybe two later. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, is he ripping ass mid-interview? He's like shitting his pants here. He's thinking back to being in there. He's thinking back to being in the cage with Ciryl Gane at UFC 321, and he's literally shitting his britches like they're going out of style. Listen to this. He even makes a little grimace, man. He's forcing this fart out.
Well, the first part was pretty hard as well. But I mean, I wasn't really shooting for a takedown with.
I swear he just ripped ass. And then he says exactly what I thought. Exactly what I thought. I really wasn't shooting a takedown.
Do you see my chat with Khabib before? You see my chat with.
And he goes, "Did you see my chat with Khabib?" Anyway, let's jump ahead, okay? Let's jump ahead, because he starts talking about his dad complaining about all the cheating. I mean, this was just a massive cope interview, essentially, about Ciryl Gane's a cheater, man, and I should have won, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, we asked the referee before in the locker room. We literally said, I think
Oh, this actually pisses me off. So they were complaining about Gane cheating in the locker room beforehand, which, okay, is fair enough. But the way they keep taking Jason Herzog's comments out of context is insane to me. Let's listen.
My dad literally said, this guy cheats a lot. Like, what are you going to do about it if he cheats? And the ref said to us, how did he word it now? Something like,
the best part about cheating. Yeah,
the best part about cheating is that it works. So, not the response I was hoping for.
Literally finishing each other's sentences. And like, this is the most disingenuous take about what Jason Herzog was saying. What Herzog was saying is, if you get fouled, keep your head in the game. I will try to deal with it. Let me deal with it as the referee, as the official. I'm not saying they handle it the best. I think there should be more point deductions. I think the referee should stop shouting the rules and actually start to enforce the rules. But to interpret it like, oh yeah, cheating's good and cheating's okay, which is the way they're trying to frame it, is just simply not the case at all. It's just simply not the case. Next clip I want to show you guys is more. I'm done. I'm just laughing at reading what I have typed here. We have more of Tom Aspinall shitting his britches here in a second. But also, he admits to quitting in the fight. Flat out admits it, okay? That's just the reality of the situation here. He quit against Ciryl Gane. Listen to this.
Ew.
Yeah, well, first of all, I got poked, and it was like, right, just give me a minute. So I like wanted the time out. And then the ref just kept coming up to me, or the doctor, or whoever it was, I can't really remember. And he was just like, you okay? You're like, he's following me around saying, you okay? You good? And then I was just like, I can't fucking see. Just like, give me.
You were screaming you can't see from the very beginning. Herzog actually took the doctor and said, leave him alone. Let's give him time to recover. This is nothing more than cope. Why are you still crying about this? You're making yourself look like a pathetic, weak beta male soy boy. It's insane to me.
Give me a minute. But then the sight absolutely was not coming back. And
you saw that Jumbotron pretty okay in the post-fight interview, didn't you?
I've seen, as heavyweight, like not even as heavyweight fighters, sorry, just as MMA fighters, you get a punch in the eye, you get a kick in the eye, whatever it may be. We've got to fight through it. Like, that's part of the sport. Like, that's absolutely fine. That's a legal punch. Kneed in the eye, elbowed in the eye, punched in the eye, kicked in the eye. Like, those are legal, perfectly allowed moves. When I fought Andrei Arlovski, actually, I know it's a long time ago, and I'm sure you remember this, Ariel. You got a good memory.
Ariel's got the greatest memory. By the way, I accidentally skipped over a clip. We're going to go back to it, where Tom's ripping ass more in this interview. I was laughing and went to the wrong timestamp.
This was 2020, 2011, 2021 maybe, something like that. I actually got punched in the eyeball against Andrei Arlovski, and during that fight, I had double vision. I wasn't moving my feet around because it was making me dizzy, and I was adopting a stance that was kind of like this. I usually fight with my hands pretty loose. I was adopting a stance that's kind of like this, so I could see him properly, and stood
So you fought through a similar situation, but you weren't going to fight through this one.
with my feet in the middle of the cage. So look, I fought through having one eye before, but when you get double eye gouged and it's against the rules, and you can't see anything, like if you're going to continue, that's just suicide, especially against a guy like Ciryl Gane. Like, if I can't see somebody because of an illegal move, look, if it's legal, everything's good. It's a punch, kick, knee, elbow. We got to carry on. We got to fight through it.
He could have carried on. He could have fought through it. But what did he do instead?
But if it's both eyes and it's an illegal technique, I'm not a dummy. Like, I'm not gonna carry on in a fight that I'm definitely not gonna win because somebody else is cheating and I can't see.
And Ariel's got to pull up the image. This is what happened. This is the accurate assessment of what happened. Tom Aspinall could have continued. He refused to because he knew he was going to lose. He was losing to Ciryl Gane. He didn't want to continue, and so he packed his bag and he went home. He took his ball and he went home, which some may say that was the smartest decision because he would have lost. And I don't necessarily disagree with you, but it's the fakeness afterwards. It's the milking it afterwards that really actually bothers me. But right there, he admits it. Like, look, I'd be a dummy in a fight that I was definitely going to lose. So there you go. For the people saying, oh, there's no way he was going to lose. He was going to lose. It was already done. I mean, he was looking up at the clock with like 3 minutes left in the first round. Looking up at the clock long before there was any eye poke. So anyway, I want to actually rewind a little bit because I messed up. Because again, Tom Aspinall, the ultimate farting champion, was just ripping ass throughout this interview. And also he says something very interesting here while he's ripping ass. Listen to this.
Compared to some other organisations, gloves are very open. So it's definitely easier to extend your fingers. But I think if you want to extend your fingers in any gloves, you can extend them. But
this dude is ripping ass mid-interview. You couldn't hold that, brother? I mean, am I imagining that? You guys tell me if I'm imagining things. Let me rewind that back. That was a nasty one too. He might have to wipe his ass and change his underwear after that one.
Extend your fingers in any gloves. You can extend them, but yeah, at this point, I just want.
Yeah, he's ripping ass throughout this interview, man. That is crazy. Farting out of the red corner. Anyway, let's continue because he says something interesting in this clip where he's ripping ass.
I just want my health back. I just want my health and my eyes to be good, and we can move forward.
Did you rewatch the fight?
Yeah, I've watched it.
In that
You watch. I thought you were blind in both eyes, so you're having trouble seeing. Your medical report says 28% field of vision in one eye, 8% field of vision in another eye, but yet you rewatched the fight. You rewatched the fight perfectly fine. It's just crazy to me that he would even say that. Now, some of the last things I want to get to, we have a couple more clips, is where he starts being asked about Dana White, and you can just tell by his answers, Dana White already hates his guts. And there's an Ngannou situation brewing. There really is an Ngannou situation brewing. Listen to this. Ariel asks multiple follow-up questions here as well.
Upset that the fight didn't continue because it was back and forth, and it seemed like he was actually rather complimentary of Ciryl. When you heard his comments, how did you react?
Yeah, slightly disappointing because he hadn't spoke to me. He hadn't give any up. He was already giving updates on my health, and he had no idea what had gone on.
Can anyone verify that? I don't remember that at all. I was trying to think about that. I think there were some tweets where he said there's no real update on Tom Aspinall, not at the post-fight presser, but on like the Jim Rome show, like a couple weeks later that, oh, there's nothing serious going on. Maybe that's what he's talking about. I don't remember exactly, but he's acting like at the post-fight presser, he's already giving updates on Tom's health. Maybe I'm misremembering. I don't remember Dana White saying, I think Dana said, oh, he's going to head to the hospital. I don't remember that, but you can see Tom is upset because he believes Dana White threw him under the bus, which Dana White kind of did. But at the end of the day, Dana White was spitting facts. Oh, Tom didn't want to continue. That is the reality of the situation. If you want to argue semantics and say, oh, he should have said it in a different manner, okay, fair enough, whatever. But that's the reality of the situation, and nobody can disprove that.
Yeah, so disappointing, mate. Disappointing.
The notion of it being framed as Tom didn't want to continue as opposed to he got poked in the eye, he couldn't see, he can't get that stuff. That phrase, the way that picture was painted, in the moment you're in the hospital, you're hearing this, you're seeing this, and how did that sit with you?
It wasn't a picture that was painted. That's the reality. Tom didn't want to continue. I mean, what is wrong with that? That's the reality. Just because you want to suck his dick, Ariel, that doesn't make it any less true. Just because you want to eat his ass doesn't make it any less true.
I was very disappointed. Yeah, very disappointed.
Do you think the way that was phrased led to some of the criticism afterwards? In other words, if he would have come up and said, poked in the eye, illegal, couldn't see, couldn't continue, serious injury, et cetera, et cetera.
Do you guys remember my Ariel Helwani video right after Tom quit? I told you guys, Ariel was pissed because Dana didn't run cover for him. Ariel was pissed because the doctors in Abu Dhabi didn't run cover for him. I called it out very clearly over a month ago. Ariel is showing that right here.
People would have laid off. They would have taken cues from him.
It definitely didn't help the cause. Definitely didn't.
And you haven't been helping the cause at all every time you've opened your mouth.
Have you spoken to him since?
No.
Is that disappointing?
I've spoken to the UFC since, but I've not spoken to... Me and Dana don't really speak like that anyway, so...
Ever?
No. Ever.
Is that surprising?
Not really. I mean, no.
Look, Tom's trying to tread lightly here. But I'm telling you, behind the scenes, Tom wanting to be paid what he's worth, Tom's daddy being outspoken and wanting him to get paid what he's worth, and him probably not getting paid what he's worth, has given Dana White sour grapes on Tom Aspinall. And then after that, I'm just speculating here. Tom and his daddy trying to negotiate a new contract. And then after some negotiations and back and forth and Dana White probably being sour on them, then going out there and performing in the way he performed at UFC 321, it's a calamity for a collapsing relationship. Tom admits here he doesn't even talk to Dana at all.
No, it's not. I mean, I've said hello here and there, but I don't really have a relationship with Dana. I have a relationship with, I speak to Hunter.
You're the heavyweight champion of the world. You're a huge star. You've taken
Huge star, my fucking ass.
fights on short notice. You've been backup fighter. You stayed on the sidelines for et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It surprises me a little bit, the face of the UK fight scene, all that stuff. It surprises me that you have no kind of relationship with him.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say. That's the way it is.
Has he sent you a text or DM in the aftermath? Hope you're feeling better.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. He actually gave, like I said, he started giving updates that there was nothing wrong with my eye when that isn't the case. So
Right.
There's a falling out brewing. I think he must be talking about the Jim Rome thing, because I remember a tweet, kind of like a brief update, but Dana clearly didn't know what he was talking about, but I don't think he said anything too specific, but I don't remember. But you can see Tom's not happy with Dana because Tom is butthurt over the criticism, and he attributes the criticism to Dana White helping escalate it instead of throwing cold water on it. That's the reality of what's going on behind the scenes.
no,
Dude, hold on a second. Let me go back real quick.
isn't the case. So
Right.
Dude, he's smelling his own. Dude, them farts started to, him ripping ass he started to catch wind of it. So he's let me hold my nose real quick. Anyway, let's continue. There's more.
no, I've done a lot for the UFC. So yeah, disappointing.
Do you feel let down?
I have been in contact with the UFC, so it's not like Dana isn't the whole promotion.
Okay.
I've still, been in contact with Hunter and stuff. But yeah, like I said, I don't really have a close relationship with Dana anyway.
Do you feel like they've taken care of you, the organization?
In terms of what?
In the aftermath, I don't know what they're telling you, go to this doctor, we'll take care, we'll fly you out, this specialist, we have your back, take your time. Have they shown you the the love and support that someone in your position deserves?
Not really.
Is that frustrating?
Yeah, well, it's disappointing, mate.
Yeah.
They didn't show him no love. They didn't take care of him. They didn't send him to specialists. I wonder why that is. Remember the way Armin was treated? Supposedly had a back injury, and all the fans piled on him and said, oh, well, he didn't make weight because that's what Dana said. It's a similar situation here. You know what? Dana doesn't think that Tom was actually injured. Dana thinks that Tom could have continued, which he would have been allowed to continue. And Dana believes that Tom quit. So he's not happy about it. Now, I don't think the way they're treating him, if they're not flying him out to see the best ophthalmologist in the country, I don't think that's right. If they're not checking up with him, if they're just casting him to the side, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a rat's ass about him until they need him again. I think it's disgusting and I think it's despicable. But this is the reality of what a lot of fans have allowed to go unnoticed for years. The UFC and Dana White treating their fighters like shit. And then when the fighter steps up and stands up for themselves, the fans are like, oh my God, this guy, oh, this, he wants this. Who is he? He doesn't even fight. It would not shock me if there's a world where Dana White is shitting on Tom Aspinall, talking about Tom Aspinall's inactivity, which I told you guys months ago, if not a year ago at this point. It would not shock me if that happens before you know it. So yeah, Tom, he's talking about going boxing. Let him go box. He fought once in 2 years. Like they did with Francis Ngannou, and all the fans co-signed it. But really, you needed actual context, which Tom Aspinall was kind of forced to sit out. And Francis Ngannou was forced to sit out by being iced by the UFC because of their contracts. Also, there's no doubt in my mind right now, Tom Aspinall is in contract negotiations because his dad recently said, what has he got, 2-3 fights left on his deal? I think he had 3, now he has 2. The UFC does not like to let champions get down to a low number of fights on their deal. Definitely not 2 and definitely not 1. That's when they start getting pissed because they don't want the fighter to have any leverage. So they're vindictive if you want to try to fight out your contract. With Tom Aspinall, according to his dad, that's what they want. That's what they want. 2 more clips I want to show you. I know this is the world's longest video, but there's a couple other things I want to show you. First off, Ariel tries to push Aspinall to talk about John Jones, and I thought Tom handled this actually perfectly. Let's play it.
Out. He has since admitted to this, and he's very apologetic, and he's trying to get on this White House card. So to me, if you are, my take is like, if you're such an easy fight, if you're such a quitter, why didn't you take the $30 million to fight you?
Oh, mate, you know what? I feel like I've just spent enough energy talking about John Jones. It's a waste of time.
Okay, fair enough.
Beautiful answer. This is what Chandler should have done, but Chandler's still talking about Conor McGregor 4 fucking years later. Perfect answer from Tom amongst a lot of bad answers. And the fact that he's now kind of shitting on the UFC publicly, bare minimum, not really covering for them, saying, look, I'm disappointed. They didn't care about me. You know, the media is going to probably ask Dana White about that. Then you have the contract negotiations. You have his dad saying he wants to go boxing. You have his dad and him saying, well, I want to fight for the most amount of money. I know that that's totally reasonable to say, but when you have Dana White who wants obedience, that's all Dana White wants, obedience. He wants power over you. He wants you to grovel at his feet. When you have a guy that likes that, and a lot of fighters give him that, and then you have a fighter that's smart and says, you know what, this or that, Dana White's not happy about it because he wants nothing more than obedience. And this is why I believe this may lead to Tom Aspinall being stripped of his heavyweight title. And I'm going to show you one last clip from this interview, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. Listen to this.
So as of right now, they haven't given you any kind of timeline like, hey, we think in 6 months or 8 months or 9 months or 4 months, any type of even like loose timeline that we think you'll feel better by this time if you do this so that you can get back to doing that?
Not right now.
Nothing.
I don't have any of that. I'm still waiting.
Okay. Is that driving you nuts?
That is driving me nuts.
Yeah.
So there you go. He has no timeline for when he can even start training again. All those factors, you don't think the UFC is going to say, you know what? We're going to move on. We're going to move on from Tom Aspinall. Also, by the way, I hate to say this, Tom Aspinall should vacate. If Tom has no idea, give him till January 1st. If he has no idea by early 2026 when he can return to training, we need to move on with the heavyweight division. Don't become John Jones 2.0, holding up the heavyweight division for essentially no reason. I know in his case he would have an eye injury, But look at Yuri Prohaska. Look at Jamal Hill. Shoulder injury and then Achilles injury. They both vacated their titles. Really, the UFC told them, you're giving up your title because you're going to be out for a long period of time. The UFC, it would not shock me, especially the way Dana now feels about Tom Aspinall, kind of treating him like Armin, maybe even worse. They're going to say, you know what? Salsa Boy beats Derek Lewis. We're doing Ciryl Gane versus Salsa Boy for the undisputed UFC heavyweight title. And Tom can fight for the belt when he comes back. Don't be surprised if that happens in 2026. And overall, I really just think this was a disastrous interview from Tom Aspinall. He's embellishing it. He's milking it. And he's just letting the hate from the fans get to him in a way that it's dictating his actual life. The fact that he's having doctors basically read scripts, I mean, it's just embarrassing. It's pathetic. It's humiliating. And I honestly believe, regardless if you agree with me about the way I feel about the situation, you have to admit Tom Aspinall made himself look absolutely horrendous in this interview. But there's a lot going on here. I can't wait to see how the Aspinall versus Dana White UFC will play out, because I do believe there will be a falling out. And when it comes to the UFC treating Tom right in terms of monetary, treating him right, making sure he gets the best health care after fighting for their company, I do side with Tom. But I do believe he's embellishing this because he does not like the criticism he got. We'll see what happens in 2026. Right now, he's not fighting till at least March or April. If he can't fight in March, if they do a UK card, they are stripping him of the title. Mark my words on that one. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching.